Hey, what's up, creatives? Welcome to the Not a Bad Idea podcast, the show all about what it's like to learn, work, and live in the creative industries at Conestoga College. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Not a Bad Idea podcast, where we are talking everything creative industries at Conestoga College. Kara Judge, what's up, Kara Judge?
Hey.
She's back with us. All right. Today we're going to be talking a little bit, it's kind of a special episode. And the reason I'm saying that is because we are talking all about from startup to completion of, going through school, the post-secondary, learning everything, how to break into creative industries. And we have a very special guest with us here today. And we're talking about him today. I wish I had the theme music for you. But I'll let Kara jump in here and introduce
Conestoga College success story. Bruno, I'm going to let you pronounce your last name.
Thank you. It's Cortez Sibella. And actually, it's saying that you don't talk about Bruno, right?
Yeah. No, I'm going to say we talk about Bruno in this episode. I was like, yeah. So a little starstruck myself after meeting Bruno and finding out all the good things he's done. But I'll let Kara kind of steer Bruno down the road she wants him to go down with this one.
What we want you to know as a viewer, as a listener of this podcast, is how you go from start to, I don't want to use the word finish because Bruno's not finished.
Yeah, he's not finished.
But he's absolutely a Conestoga College success story. But let's talk about day one, or maybe pre-day one, of you deciding to come to Conestoga College and being that very green, very nervous, maybe first-year student.
First of all, very nice to be here at your
coming.
studio, right? It's amazing to be here. It looks really nice. So, Kara, I used to love TV since a little kid. I used to go to, kids show. And usually I wasn't there for the show. I was there like, hey, guy, can you teach me that camera? What are you doing?
Amazing.
I was like, can I learn that? And I had the opportunity in Brazil to work for the biggest TV network in there. It calls Globo, not Global.
Not this global, that
Globo
global.
TV,
Yes.
yeah. But for the admin part, during those 3 years, I got my camera operator license. You need a license to operate cameras in Brazil. There we go. So
As you should, expensive equipment.
yeah,
probably,
right?
too,
Yeah. So after I get my license, I started working for Mix TV, which it's like MTV in here.
Okay.
A lot of entertainment, music, a lot of music.
Amazing.
It was so nice to meet the artists. Every weekend we have a presentation, and it was so good. Cool.
So was this in Brazil, Bruno?
That was in Brazil. Yeah.
It is so funny. I remember years ago, and I'm going to go back to the days of chat rooms.
Yeah.
Look, Kara's rolling her eyes at me. And I remember talking with somebody in Brazil about music. And I was so North American centric, right? I remember asking them, where do you live? And they wrote me back, Sao Paulo, right? I hope I'm saying that correctly.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know where that is. And they wrote me back and said, where do you live? And I said, just outside Toronto. And the person said, I don't know where that is. And I was like, how can you not know where Toronto is? At the time, it was almost 2 million people.
Yeah.
He said, how can you not know where Sao Paulo is? It's like 20 million people. And I felt about this big. So you had a very large audience in Brazil.
But
in
so
São
you're,
Paulo, 23 million people now in the metropolitan area.
and you're doing
Wow.
all that. And
Yeah.
how did you come to Canada?
There we go.
Yeah.
Something happened with the network. We do have this little thing in Brazil that there's a lot of churches and religion groups. They purchase networks.
Oh,
But
wow.
they have volunteers. They don't need to hire a lot of people to run the network. That what happened. So we all got fired. It was like 450 people on the
Wow.
street. And, the industry, it's really small.
Yes.
Right? To find a job again and restart. I told my wife, I sent her a little flag. Are we going to the countryside, to another state out of São Paulo, or Canada?
It was one of those.
What a decision.
Yeah. It's kind of like
You
going
know
to the
what?
beach. or-
Before that day, it was a Tuesday. On the Friday prior, Conestoga College was there,
Really?
letting people know about the programs.
Amazing.
It's
Conestoga
amazing,
was
isn't
in
it?
Brazil.
It was in Brazil.
Yes.
It was like a small
Amazing.
fair,
Yeah.
talking about trades and, of course, our School of Creative Industries and business school, all that.
So cool.
And I told her, well, we learned a little bit about the college. Let's jump in. 3 months later, we were here.
That is scary and
So
incredible.
you're here in the fall, and can
Yeah.
we just point out, fall in Canada, you get every single season
Yeah.
Yes.
in 1 week,
Yeah.
if you're lucky. And so you had to find a place to live. You had to figure out how to get to campus. You had to figure out how to get online.
Yes, that was scary because in Brazil we have like renting signs everywhere. We got here, there's no renting signs, and we had to rent a house because we want to bring our dog. So a pet-friendly house, right?
Right.
So all that it's really intense. And then English, right? Is just that first barrier of oh my god.
I was just going to ask you, how do you say toque? Because you would have had to learn what a toque was coming to Canada. How do you say that in Portuguese? Because that is the language of
Toca.
Brazil.
It's
Toca?
really close.
Close, yeah.
Toca,
Toca.
yeah. So I did EOLS program before my program starts. So I did, as soon as I came to Canada, 3 days after that, I started my EOLS, just 2 months. Just to
English
get
is a second
ready.
language if you're not
Yep.
familiar with what
Familiar.
that is. Conestoga also offers conversational English classes.
Yep.
Class is kind of a strong word. You actually can just show up to a room and have a conversation with volunteers to help people improve their English.
It's really important.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so thankful
Yes,
for all
I've
the
had
volunteers.
students that have done it as well, and just to
Yeah.
see the transition from the beginning of fall semester even to in December,
Yeah.
it's really cool.
It's a
And they're
great-
so proud of themselves, and I'm sure you were
great
proud
exchange,
of yourself,
right?
Yeah.
By culture and all that. So
I
great
love it.
moment. Then September hits. First day in school. I was 32 years old. Coming back to
Okay.
school, it's like, oh my God.
And the program, just so that
Broadcasting, television,
Yes.
and independent production.
Yes.
Yeah, so just the same field.
Amazing, amazing program there as well.
I love it. And then the first semester was kind of getting into it, learning a lot about how Canadians do television, different from Brazil, right?
Okay.
And a lot of
we say
roles
sorry a
too.
lot.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. So in Brazil, we used to have a lot of roles, and you have a license for each role. So I used to
Okay.
go on streets to do streeters. I was the camera operator only.
Okay.
We had a driver, and we have a producer,
Okay.
and then a sound and light person, right?
Oh.
Here is all on you. Come up with the idea,
have to learn
go
everything.
shoot, and edit, and give
But
me
I
the
think
final
that's
product.
also something great that Conestoga does, because
Awesome.
Conestoga has it all on you, so that when you are looking for that job 2 years later and they go, can you do this? You go, yes. Can you do this? You go, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's great to just learn those multiple skills.
It's the way the
Ideation.
industry works.
Yes.
To content
Right?
creation.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
So good.
And then in the Brazilian mode, I was feeling like I was there for 5 years, and I really mastered camera operation. Here
Right.
in 6 months, I used my camera operation skills, but I learned how to edit. I learned how to produce, how to
So
make
good.
the calls. It's so hard to pre-produce shows, right? So I learned all that in the first 6 months.
And
Wow.
all the equipment's here. You
Oh.
didn't have to, out of pocket, because please don't think you have to out of pocket, thousands of dollars worth of television equipment. It was here. You can rent it out. You can do all of that. Yeah.
Sorry, that was my camera
Yeah.
projector. Anyway,
In Brazil, we used to have 2 cameras for the entire class.
wow.
Here
Yeah.
we have.
We have a few more than that. here.
That's
we have a few
amazing.
more than that.
So Bruno's like,
Yeah.
heck no, I'm not sharing my camera. You go get your own camera from the
It
equipment
was a
lab.
lot of surprise. I said, really, we
cool.
do have all these cameras. Really, we do have access to all this.
We're lucky.
It was so nice, and also the exchange between classmates and also faculty.
So
Like,
cool.
I used to do this in a different way. Oh, can you show me? Oh, yeah, that's nice too. So, we don't have, those old school professors here.
Right.
No, we don't. It's very much
Oh.
like, let's sit cross-legged
Yeah.
on a couch and talk about something.
Right?
Yes.
And that's really important. You don't have that barrier, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Our classrooms really are labs,
Mhm.
and you are
Hands-on.
in there to play.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, you're like, oh, I learned something today, but I was playing, but I learned something.
Yeah.
And I need to tell you about radio, because it was my passion in Brazil, and I could not have time on radio. I used to have a show. It was a paid show. I had for 2 months because I had to pay and get sponsors and all that. After 2 months in the program, the CJAQ radio manager, he goes, do you want to have a radio show? I said, are you kidding?
Yes,
On
I do.
88.3 CJIQ.
88.3.
You can listen online. You can listen in your car. Take us
Right
with you
on.
wherever you go.
Saturday night, you have the Brazilian show from 7 to 9. That was unbelievable.
Okay.
In one show, in the beginning. After 4 months doing the show, we hit it 95,000 people listening and watching the show on that Saturday night spot.
This is Bruno with the Brazilian show.
Yeah, in Portuguese.
Coming from Brazil, talking Portuguese on Canadian radio.
But that's so
and
Canadian,
selling out
right?
the
We're
stadium.
like, whatever inspires you, whatever your cultural background is, that's what you want to do. Okay, let's make it happen. And that's so very Canadian, so very Conestoga-ian. Is that a word? Let's
That's
make it
one
a
of
word.
the first things when we are not selling, but when we are talking about our lives here as an
Yes.
immigrant, that's the first thing we say. Canada, it's open. It's how do you say that? Fabric. There's like a special word we use, but Canada is open. Conestoga is open for new ideas. We're gonna talk about my new idea. I just come up
amazing.
here at
We are going to
Conestoga,
talk about your new
and
idea.
it
Yes, let's do
works.
that. But just so that anyone listening or watching knows, so Bruno does the 2-year broadcasting, television, and independent film diploma, and Conestoga thought, hey, he's got this radio thing going. He's graduated from the program.
Mm-hmm.
We know his skills. We know him. Then there's a job.
Yes, I was working as a work study, and then a competition went up. Right, wasn't my
No.
it's gonna be Bruno. No, it
Right.
was
Yeah.
just open up a competition. I did apply, and I got the job. So I started working full time after 2 weeks and a half of graduation.
Wow.
Yeah,
Just
so-
jump right in.
Just jump right in.
Wow.
And
And,
s-
and for those who don't know, like Bruno had, and I heard from our chair of creative industries at the time, that he had quite a following. And I was like, he seems such such a nice, quiet fellow. Like there's no ego there or anything. And then I found out, you're coming from Brazil. I'm like, I have so many soccer questions.
To be
Oh, yeah,
fair,
there you
as someone who has lived in the broadcasting world, the less ego I do find, the more successful you are, because there is no ego necessary in our industry. We do a skill
Yeah.
that is different than someone doing construction work, maybe that you drive by every day on your way to a radio station.
Yep.
Their skills are crazy good, which you can
Right.
also learn at Conestoga College, and
play.
Conestoga.
right, and I just and I just think that that's what's so cool about your story. And fast forward now to 2024, 2025, you have a big project that is, we could say,
Yes.
launching.
Yeah, talking about that ego thing, it was my idea, but it's a teamwork, and they are here. Part of them, they are here.
Yes, you have an
filming us.
amazing team. I just have to say.
Amazing team. Yeah. So the idea was, let me put up here, CCD TV.
So your TV's in your hand. Your TV can be at home. Your TV can be on the computer.
I was working full time, doing events, media production, all across the schools and the college, and sometimes we were producing great content. Was there sitting on Vimeo accounts or on YouTube accounts with
All over.
5-10 views?
Yeah.
I said, why? Like CJIQ, why we don't have a channel to get all those productions line up? Right?
Yes.
It will be helpful for students. It will be great for students' portfolio. And
Amazing.
also connecting the community. If you have high school students watching esports game,
Yes.
oh, I want to be part of that.
I have so many people from the general public ask me, I'll tell them, like, we have esports. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, our esports, they're going national. And, we have animators that worked on here in animation that have worked on Disney films. And they're like, in Kitchener, Ontario? I'm
Yes.
like, 100%.
Yeah.
Right? And now we have Bruno.
I mean, there's like rumors, right? Like Mr. Beast is filming in Toronto
Oh,
right
really?
now.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe
I mean, we are
nice.
booming, people.
There you go.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, just launched it in June, right?
Launched
And,
in June.
During Convocation Week, we had over 150,000 people watching the channel globally.
Amazing.
Same quality as if you're watching from Waterloo or Japan, right? So we are really proud of the
When you
TV
say
station.
the open landscape, I think you've really done it that way as well. I know more communications and media is starting to go more global, or they want to see themselves as more global.
Yeah.
And it takes something as easy as you and your wife deciding, hey, we're either moving to the hills or we're moving to Canada. Let's move to Canada and start a TV network. Why not?
And it's a fantastic landing spot
Yep.
and for student work, for student ideas too, for someone, who might be starting this fall,
Yep.
who 6 months from now, a year from now, has this great idea and can start to develop it because there's now a landing spot for that, which I think is just fantastic.
For sure. And we are open to ideas. The college, it's open to ideas. So the amount of barriers compared to my experience in Brazil,
Right.
I mean, we cannot even compare.
It's incredible. I think you can be seen as kind of an inspiration to anyone coming. I mean, outside of Canada, inside of Canada as well. If you ever thought about getting into media and production and stuff like that, you would be learning from people that have done it firsthand, and someone who went from maybe one follower, maybe being your best friend or your wife, to 150,000 to possibly 1 million. You never know.
Yep.
So we'll say congratulations to you, Bruno.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we will say, hey, maybe we call this a challenge to you if you are watching and you are unsure or you are just ready to jump into a program at Conestoga College. Maybe you'll be sitting in the pink chair in a year or 2 years from now to talk about whatever your project may be. Because Conestoga College is open to anything, and we will open our doors to you. So thanks, everybody, for, not a bad idea today.
Awesome. That was so fast.
Yeah,
We
it's
can
not
talk
bad.
more.
Yeah.
Let's talk more.
Time is money,
Thank you
Bruno.
so
Time
much.
is money.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea to come to Canada and start a show.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea.
Thanks for watching.
Can I do this?
Yeah.